Honorable members of parliament, ladies and gentlemen, assalamu alaikum. Let me first welcome you to Garissa County, a county inhabited by a people who epitomize the real embodiment of resilience amidst one of the most devastating natural shocks of this generation. Kenya, like the entire Horn of Africa region, is in the grip of a serious drought, worst in the last 4 decades. Right now, 21 out of 23 ASAL counties are in various phases of drought, with 14, namely Laikipia, Marsabit, Garissa, Isiolo, Kilifi, Kwale, Samburu, Tana River, Tharaka Nithi, Kitui, Kajiado, and Mandera in the drought alarm phase. The situation is worsening with poor start of October-December rains, showing a possibility of a fifth failed season that will phase into the season dry spell in January to March 2023. This is likely to reverse any recovery, and the anticipated reprieve will be short-lived. In fact, early models to poor rains expectations in the March-May 2023 season, hence the need for sustained drought response beyond May 2023. Currently, 5.1 million Kenyans are in need of food and water. Out of this, 4.3 million are in the ASAL counties, and about 864,000 are in 9 non-ASAL counties. Ladies and gentlemen, our development partners, His Excellency President William Ruto made a deliberate promise that no Kenyan shall die from ravages of drought. He has tasked me to spearhead the drought mitigation efforts across the Republic by instituting measures to protect affected livelihoods and sectors. To this end, the national and county governments have spent over 16 billion Kenya shillings for interventions in key sectors including livestock, water, agriculture, health, peace, and security. Fellow Kenyans, whereas there has been a deliberate shift to relief cash transfers, the government still prioritizes relief food aid, especially to communities where markets have collapsed as a result of deteriorating terms of trade for pastoralist communities. A total of Kenya shillings 5.6 billion has been spent on relief food distribution. Cash transfers have proved to be easier, cheaper, and faster in delivery of humanitarian assistance, while ensuring recipients maintain their dignity in the face of adversity. The government has therefore prioritized the expansion of the Hunger Safety Net program to Garissa, Isiolo, Tana River, and Samburu counties, which are often hard hit by drought and whose populations are chronically vulnerable to climatic shocks. The National Drought Management Authority, which is implementing this program, has registered of beneficiaries across the 4 counties. Community-based validation is ongoing to identify the most vulnerable and needy cases. Once completed, the selected households will receive a monthly stipend of Kenya shillings 2,700 to cushion them against shocks. The government, with the private sector players, is also working to ensure that surplus food in other regions is transported to areas with acute deficits without distorting market forces. Ladies and gentlemen, our development partners, the more than Kenya shillings 47 billion support we have received from our development partners led by UN agencies, the private sector, and other multilateral organizations cannot be overemphasized. We are indeed very grateful. Even as the government works very hard in the short term to address the drought, the main long-term goal is to ensure food security for Kenyans through modernizing agriculture and combating climate change. That is our plan. Equally, a number of projects have been earmarked for implementation under the Aiding Drought Emergencies Initiative. These capital-intensive initiatives include construction of mega dams and investment in sustainable livelihoods, especially in livestock, agricultural production, and infrastructural development to spur and tap these regions' economic resources. Ladies and gentlemen, the government has started the process of funding the National Drought Emergency Fund, which once fully operational will improve the effectiveness and efficiency of drought risk management system by building resilience, preparedness, and proactiveness to minimize the negative impacts. Resources in this kitty cannot be sufficient to address the challenges induced by climate change now and in the future. Therefore, the government is appealing for assistance to address the resource gap in implementing drought interventions to minimize losses, catastrophic famine levels. We have a heavy immediate burden which we cannot carry alone as government. We call upon all of you to chip into the kitty. The time to act is now. As we meet today, we should come up with an integrated, multi-stakeholder strategy for implementation of the plan so that we avoid this situation in future. We look forward to your generous commitments. A life lost will be one life too many. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana.